Oh, I don't know. Babylon, wasn't that a place where something interesting happened around language? Babylon. Okay. So,
So,
if you
I'm
want,
at the so I can't pull up my visual aids, my two sticks and my ball of
oh,
yarn.
it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly fine. So,
I can share a knitting story. I can talk about how quilting is like putting a business together.
you could do that. Or do you knit?
I do knit,
Well,
yes.
yeah, then talk about how knitting is knit. Well, that's like putting together a business. And I mean, we're crafty people, so go for it any way you want to. And I'm just going to go check on some things here. And I have to be careful because, this is when I want a second computer.
Uh-huh.
I have a second computer. You can see it. It's sitting back there on my on my radiator. Eh, you know? Eh.
Yes.
So, Deb, I'm going to see if you have the capacity to be on. Well, then I may lose you, but I'm not. You're not recording. So it would be cool if you could go to the Tech Talk Facebook page and let people know that the webinar jam transitioned to Skype. I don't know if you can do that.
I can do that. I am moving to Facebook as we speak.
Yeah. You know what this is? This is such a sign for me that I really have to get a new computer, I think. I think so.
So we want to go to TikTok.
Facebook page.
And there we go. So TikTok Cafe Facebook page. This is quite fun. So we
This is the cafe part right here. Woohoo, cafe.
yes, I have the TikTok Cafe.
Mmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The cafe. Oh, you must have been holding up your
I'm
coffee
holding up
cup.
my coffee cup. This is the second cup of my day and I'm really glad to have it. So, what I'm going to talk to you about while Deb is doing this other function, and aren't we a very great team? Woohoo for us! Is that one of the things I wanted to talk to you about when I wanted to say hello and welcome, and I'm Anna E. Salas, and you're meeting my buddy Deborah Padilla. And Deb has probably not had as much time doing sort of tech web stuff as maybe I've logged on in terms of hours, but she's catching up fast. And one of the things that we wanted to share with you is, well, what is it like, if you're a granny getting teched, what does that look like? And it can look like this. So it can be messy. You can have everything lined up perfectly and spend weeks and hours making sure everything is lined up perfectly. And then you log into Google Hangouts and surprise! So I think it's hysterical that we have gone several steps backward to Skype, which is Microsoft, which everybody's thinking is so passe, but maybe it's not. Okay, because this is the second time that I've had to resort to Skype to do a chat and to record to be able to connect with the topics in hand. So we're in our brown bag launch today. And what makes this exciting is because for months people have been asking me, Anais, what are you doing? What is Tech Talk? I don't get it. I don't understand. And one of the reasons that I've had to kind of keep things below the radar screen because this is such an innovative idea, and right now there is literally no one doing this, although I can feel the breath of Dan on my back because in one of our shared online trainings, he raised his hand and asked about tech. And even though I've been posting about it for months and weeks, and I'm a woman, nobody's paying attention. The minute a guy raised his hand, boy, everybody was all over him like white on rice. Oh, I need help, I need help, I need help. The point being is that we need help. And we were kind of the first ones out of the box. And I'm so proud of that because I love it when you have a really wonderful idea and then it gets validated by lots of people starting to emulate what you're doing and broadening the market and creating room for all kinds of people to come on board. So here's to the universe, here's to expansion, here's to the generosity of great ideas.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Now that
Yes.
being said, I wanted to get us out here before everybody had all the pieces of my business model because then I'm just dead in the water. So what we're doing here is a Tech Talk Cooperative is a membership site, and there are several different levels of membership. There's two kick the tire levels of membership. There's one at $9.99 a year. Ouch, 2 cups of coffee. Okay, that's not a huge investment. You can poke around, you can see what we're up to, but you're not going to get the good stuff for $9.99 a year. You're just going to get to come in and read some blog posts and see a couple of how-to demos and maybe one case study, and that's it for you. And then we have a $14.99 a year membership for somebody who wants to kick 2 tires. Okay. Then we get serious, and for $19.99, no, actually it's $19 a month, you can become a member. And at that point, you're starting to get some meaningful discounts on our programs. You're starting to get access to group coaching, which you do not have access to when you're a member at those other levels. And you're starting to move your way up into a commitment where we are not only hoping that you're going to pay it forward, but we're going to pay it back to you. So at $19 a month, you got to understand we're for startups. I had said to Deb last week, I said, you know what? You got Frank Kern talking about the difference between a Rolls Royce and a BMW, and it's all about positioning, and it's the same car, and it's made by the same people, but one costs $100,000 and one costs $200,000. A little bit more of a cushy ride, but hey, it's not that substantially different. And then you got people, everybody is into the luxury thing, okay? So here it is. It's Earth Day. It's Earth Day. This is a day when we need to be conscious about how much we consume and how much we spend. All right, Deb, are you there? Did I lose you? And somebody's saying like, "What happened to the webinar again?"
No, I am here. I posted.
Oh, somebody just accepted my friend request. That's nice. I don't even know who she is. That's fun. Good job, Deb.
Okay.
Okay, so where was I? So it's Earth Day, and we need to be on the Earth Day. Um, be, Earth Day is not a good day to talk about fancy schmancy. I'm not a fancy Nancy. I used to be a fancy Nancy. But along the way, I had my consciousness really shifted by some very interesting things in my life. And more than 10 years ago, I opted in to voluntary simplicity because with our numbers growing on the planet, human beings on the planet, we are now an unsustainable species. And I didn't feel really good about contributing to that. So I dialed back my consumption. I began shopping at thrift stores. This was before the recession. So I'll tell you what, when the recession hit, man, I already had practice to scale back because I'd started it several years prior. Recycling, composting, really thinking about giving away things that I no longer was going to use and sending them downstream, not to a waste dump, but to other people who could use the materials. Okay, so that's been more than 10 years that I've been doing that, and it's made my life very happy. So, Tech Talk Co op is about people who are in startup mode, people who are being really conscious about their financial choices, people who are not insecure. Because if you're insecure and you're not happy with yourself, then driving around in a Rolls Royce might make you feel a little bit better for a while, but trust me, it's not a permanent fix. And when you're happy and when you feel great about who you are, you don't need a Rolls Royce. So I joked with Deb last week that if we're successful, that we would be the Volkswagen of tech coaching and just helping people get over the digital divide and helping those grannies out there get teched. So that's what we're up to today. So when you become a member, there are many resources that we can share as members. For instance, I have Webinar Jam, which maybe isn't working today, but it could be working tomorrow. And I'm not using it 365 days of the year. So if I have some people who have approached me as a joint venture partner and they say, hey, you know what? I've got my program worked out and I would really like to be able to do a webinar jam to kind of introduce it to people as part of my marketing. I'm a member of Tech Talk Cooperative. Can I schedule a day to use the webinar jam resource? And the answer would be yes, you can. What day would you like? And we work out the scheduling. There are also Google Plus Hangouts isn't the only tech nightmare out there. I want to personally testify to another tech nightmare that a lot of people use. One shopping cart. Woohoo! Um, this is not for the timid to go in and set this up. This is a big deal. But again, I can share my one shopping cart account because I have 5 site licenses. So if you have a product or a digital product or a training that I really think is very cool, I'm going to be happy to sell it and put it in my Tech Talk Cooperative site as a sales portal for you with an affiliate system, but I'm also going to be willing to negotiate with possibly sharing the platform that I have with you, having an opportunity to gain some experience with one shopping cart, with your own site license, and with your own crew, deciding whether or not you want to use one shopping cart's autoresponder, which I wouldn't touch with a hot poker, but some people love it. Okay, so this is what membership is about. And there are other examples of this. So I'm thinking that you needed to know that. And the way that you become a member is you go on the Tech Talk Cooperative website. There are membership pages there, and you click one of those little buttons and you sign up, and you're actually signing up in PayPal, and it's all good. And no, the latest Heartbleed incident, PayPal didn't even bother to send me an email. That's how secure they were, that they weren't hacked. Okay, so we have security, you have resources. I also found out recently that I will be able, because of my PayPal Pro account, which I use in one shopping cart, I will be able to share that resource for someone who wants to go very, very bootstrap, but wants to have a way to bring in money for a program or test a product and see how well it does without making the huge investment monthly. So right now, little old Tech Talk Cooperative is carrying close to $400 a month just in basic stuff. Basic stuff that we use all the time every day. And when you're a startup, that kind of money matters. Why not scale it and share it so that those costs are being shared and we're all getting the benefit? And I think this is the wave of the future, but I'm a beekeeper. So I am looking at my little counter here on my screencast, and I'm going to pause the video, and Deb is going to talk to you now while I do some more behind the scenes, behind the curtain tech magic. Go for it, Deb. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Oh my God.
Let me share with you alone, and it has been a really great partnership. And this is the theme or the um, the the feel that we want everybody to have when they come to Tech Talk Co-op is that you can bring whatever you love to do, whatever you know how to do that we don't know how to do, a knit. And if you turn the yarn in a different direction, you get a stitch that's called a purl. And every item that is knitted is made up a combination of these two stitches. And so to get something more complex is really just a matter of using more complex variations of the same basic steps. And that's exactly what goes on when you start up a business. You start off with a few essentials, a few basics, and as your business grows, it just becomes more complex combinations of the basic steps. And our program, 5 Tech Essentials, is the perfect program to help you learn those few basic steps. You need these few basic elements to understand the very beginning steps, the very foundations of your business, and everything that goes from here, goes from those 5 essentials, is going to support everything else that you build from there on.
Okay, Deb,
So,
I'm going to ask you to
yes,
take a moment and do a timeout
okay,
because we're in Skype, and I think that we both need to take our headphones off and
okay,
talk into our microphones because otherwise Screencast is not going to pick up our dialogue, and we're going
okay.
to have a Buster Keaton kind of a video where we're there and we're not there and we're there, and it's going to
Okay.
be really crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my little Mikey back in, and I'm going to ditch the headphones. Ready? One, two, three, yank! All right, and there's the phone feedback, so that means this is working. All right, speak, Deb, speak.
Can you hear me now?
I can, and guess what? This we're gonna actually get this dialogue recorded. And you were so elegant before, and while I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, I wonder what Screencast is doing right now. It's going to pick up. I don't know what it's going to pick up. So I'm having this is like too much fun. This is the case study for April.
On launches, yeah.
Yeah,
Rabbits.
yeah. So Debbie, turn up your mic a little bit if you can.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna leave mine where it is. Now, repeat everything you just said.
Oh, let me see. Let me rewind my little brain here.
Sharing,
I,
sharing.
can you hear me?
I can.
All right. So let me repeat everything I just said. I'm Deborah Padilla. And I'm here to tell you my story about knitting and how it is like starting a business. so, um, so 2 sticks and a ball of yarn was an interesting marketing concept that actually came about with Anais, and and we wanted to bring in the idea that business is not necessarily complicated, that it is premised on a few basic steps that you repeat over and over, and that more complex systems are simply made up of more complex combinations, but still the same basic elements. And so in knitting, you have 2 sticks. Your 2 sticks are your knitting needles, and you have a ball of yarn. And the ball of yarn in and of itself is it's just a very, very long string, which can't necessarily do a lot all on its own. So you can tie it in knots, or you can wrap it around something, but as soon as you let go, of course, it just falls to the ground, it falls apart. But if you use it in the concept of knitting, where you learn to apply the craft or the skill of wrapping it around the needle and then turning the or the thread in one direction, you get a stitch that is called a knit. And if you turn the string in a different direction, you get a stitch that's called a purl. And those are your two basic steps in knitting. And even very, very fancy sweaters, very, very fancy items are a combination of those two basic stitches. Sometimes it is knit two, purl one. Sometimes it's purl two, knit one. Sometimes it's knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. But still, just a knit, just a purl.
Okay.
And business is very much like that too. With your 5 basic tech essentials, it's just a couple of easy steps, and you just apply it and combine it in different combinations to finally build a thriving enterprise that will share your service or share your brilliance with the world.
Well, there's one other thing about knitting I want to add, Deb. I learned to knit when I was young, and I want to say that what I learned about patience was huge. And I use that switch to go into patience is very it's a well-developed little tactic.
Yeah.
Now, you could see today how my ability to be patient and how to untangle and how to go back and how to rework and how to move forward after somebody else would have thrown their knitting on the floor and have ripped out all the stitches by now.
This is true. I agree. I started out in a very similar way.
That's right. So the other thing that makes knitting like a good business is that you learn the patience and you learn that failing forward is okay. And you learn that making mistakes is okay. And you also learn that when you catch a mistake, you really have to take a deep breath and just take it, rip out what you've knitted till you get to the point where you've dropped the stitch or you've done it incorrectly, and you correct it and pick it back up and move forward. And I think that's a huge lesson for people who are interested in running a business and who are running a business, because it's not a straight line. It's all up and down from here, as a good friend of mine once said.
Yes.
And yeah, it's all up and down from here. So we thought it was fun because so many of the people we work with are they're artistic, they're creative, they're right brain learners. We thought it would be fun to run with that little analogy of knitting being like running a business and having the fortitude to keep moving, and you want a finished garment no matter what.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you put it down in frustration and you don't pick it back up, guess what? You're not going to end up with a finished garment. You're going to end up with probably multiple unfinished products and projects. Well, that's not going to move you forward. So, and I'm going to transition and talk about going back to membership. Why is it valuable for you to be a member of Tech Talk Cooperative? Well, we also have this going on. We really understand that this is part of life's process and you kind of have to learn to go with the flow. The other thing is that that translates into how we do our online project management services, and it requires really good communication. And this is one of the things I think that Deb and I have discovered, is that along the way, as we got to know each other and we found that our values were aligned in terms of how we are as people and how we want to be in business as who we are, that our values were aligned, and this has made, I think, the communication. Deb, don't you think we communicate pretty well?
I think we communicate really well.
It's fun.
We often look at things from different points of view, but we manage to be patient. If we feel like our point is not coming across, we reword it, rework it in a different way. And as we have continued with the partnership, that process of communicating has become much shorter, because now I am learning how to speak Anais, and Anais is learning how to speak Debbie. and it makes it fun. It makes the communication fun. It makes the whole process fun, and we get to celebrate as well as cooperate and work through challenges, and then say, "Hey, look what we did together."
It's yeah, and I have to say, Deb, here's to you, because man, it's been amazing. And the thing that I've really I think we should be very proud of is that we can now send each other very short, very terse emails, and neither one of us is offended. And neither one of us is second guessing the other one. Oh, she doesn't like me anymore. She just sent me a 1 sentence email. What did I do? That whole female trip, right? Where you start making up a story, and really it's just a one-line email that means what it says. Okay. So we've reached that point. Woohoo for us. Okay. And so the other thing that we're able to do with our membership is we're able to offer back office virtual assistant stuff. And this is what I've learned, is I learned this from the theater, is when you're in a production and the stuff is on stage and you want everything to go like this, and this, you better have a really great stage manager backstage. And being a stage manager is something I love to do. I love performing. I love being on stage. I love being out front. God knows I love stand-up comedy. But I also love being the stage manager with my checklist on my clipboard behind the scenes, making sure the props all go right into their places and the costumes get hung up, so that when it's go time again and it's show time again, you know what? You know where to find everything, and everything moves smoothly. So that's another piece of the online project management. Now you're going to find, I think very shortly, there are going to be a lot of tech talk, cooperative, what should we call them, Deb?
Lookalikes.
Lookalikes. Let's call them lookalikes. Right on. There will be those people out there, and they're going to spend a lot of money, and they're going to go for fancy Nancy and high polish, because they know that there are a lot of insecure people out there who will spend their money to buy self-esteem. You want to spend money here, man, I can sell you stuff too, but I want to give you value, and the value that I would like to give you is the direct experience of self-esteem by, inviting you to more tech empowerment parties and helping you grow and develop, so that your self-esteem isn't attached to, reliant upon some external physical object to make you feel like you're worth something. Been there, done that. But trust me, when I was going through that stage of my life, I really wanted a Mercedes Benz. Bad. And you know what? I worked my blank off. And guess what? I got the Mercedes Benz. Was I any happier? No. In fact, that damn car almost killed me. All right, so it's true. It's another story. It was a very interesting thing. I saw my life flashing before my eyes and wondering who was going to take care of my children as that little rear engine car spun across the highway, and I'm looking at traffic lights in a snowstorm. Not fun. Okay, so I digress. Now we're going to go back, and we've talked about membership, we've talked about online project management, and we've talked a little bit about virtual assistants. We've talked about the power of group buy. I don't know anybody's a member of AARP, anybody's a member, you belong to BJ's, you belong to Costco, you know about the savings attached with group power. The other thing I liken us to is the automobile, the AAA Automobile Association of America. You get a membership, and if your car breaks down, you're calling them up, they're going to help you out, right? That's us. Okay. So, Deb, it's 1:45. So we are really excited about having you become part of our community. And I think one of the things Deb and I both experienced, we met in an online program. And we were on very different trajectories, really. And then I kind of knew what I wanted to do, because I just said, well, look, I'm just going to go, boom, I'm going this way. I'm going into tech coaching. And one of the reasons that I made that choice, which I think was a very good choice, it was the right thing to choose at the right time. And it is really $1 million idea, and I hope Deb and I get to have the $1 million, because, we did it first. But the thing that was clear to me was that there are a lot of programs out there that people are taking, and they're getting great value from them in really understanding the vision of what they want to do with an online business, and beginning to understand of the sort of steady inner climate that you have to create for yourself if you're going to run an online business. But they were really short on technical information. Do you agree with me, Deb?
Absolutely. And I'm a personal testimony to that. I had taken a couple of different courses that had each helped me in a different kind of way, and yet coming to the end of the class that Anais and I were taking together, I was still in the same spot. I was emotionally a little clearer on what I wanted to do, but I was no closer to starting. And mainly it did boil down to the idea of, how do I approach the technology? How do I conquer that? I was a latecomer to the technology thing. I didn't even have a cell phone until a couple of years ago. I still shared a family email. I didn't even have my own email. I did not have a Facebook account until I started that class. And I am part of the generation that, my kids are technologically savvy, but even they were a little bit older before the computer even was invented. And so I really did my business and did my marketing. It was all word of mouth, face to face. And so making that connection with the digital world was like jumping into the deep end of the ocean for me. And those programs that I had previously taken, while they were great and they were awesome, they did not help me with that part at all.
Right, and they don't, because they don't have the time. And most of the people who are running those training programs, they have an area of expertise, and they're really good at what they do. Let's be clear about this. They're really good at what they do, and they're an enormously valuable resource for lots of people, including me. I think I'm a really a good testament to my online business coach. However, that's if you're really going to start an online business, that's not going to be enough for you. And I will tell you, because I know that your kids are not going to want to show you how to do this. They're not going to teach you. They don't have the time. They're going to be impatient. They're not going to meet you halfway. Most of them, 90% of them, are not going to meet you halfway and explain. And I want you to understand this word very carefully. The millions of small steps that you will have to take, technology small steps, click here, point there, We are talking millions of clicks over a year or 2 years. So you're benefiting right now from the millions of clicks that I have already clicked. And I will say, I also have 10 years behind me as a life coach and an energy healer. And, I've done all of that already. And I just want to be home and work from home and play with my grandkids and go do fun stuff and go keep my bees. So, that explains part of what I'm doing here. But I also really like to help people. I don't even use the word help. It's not help. I like to empower people. In fact, actually, I don't like to help people. If I'm honest, I don't enjoy helping people. I will help someone who really needs help, but most people don't need help. They're just kind of, not taking responsibility. They're not owning what they need to know and do. And I don't know what to say, except I would rather empower people than help people. I would rather give people the opportunity to decide and make an informed choice about whether they're going to do something themselves or have someone else do it. And they know enough to know that they're not getting ripped off. They know enough to know that they're getting value for whatever money they want to spend with a web developer or someone else who's going to be a virtual assistant for them. So I think that's an important point. That's behind the curtain too, what we're doing here. So in our training, in our programs, and in our boot camp and in our VIP coaching, we do the hand holding that you need to gain the confidence to then be able to go forward and try and do things yourself and make mistakes and know that you didn't just kill your computer. It's going to be all right. You'll probably just need to refresh your browser. It's not going to be any more major than that. That hand holding is important when you're getting started, because this tech stuff it intimidates a lot of people. So one of my let's call it one of my socially conscious missions is to narrow the huge space between digital immigrants and digital natives. And if you're someone like me who really had the rug pulled out from under them in the recession that we just are supposedly coming out of, that we've been through, you're not going to move forward very far or in a direction that's going to really take care of you into the foreseeable future without a firm grasp of technology. You're going to be left behind in the same way that when the automobile was invented, those people who didn't take that up and didn't drive were left behind. There was a universe of opportunities that they were not able to access because they were not drivers and they did not have cars. So today, your little laptop computer, your Kindle, your notebook, your iPad, this is the version of the new car. And we're going to have to get down off of the airplanes because it's Earth Day, and I'm just going to put it out there. Just think about it. Think about what jet exhaust is doing to our atmosphere and our ozone protective layer. And we could pretend that that's not happening, but it is happening. So we're going to have to come down out of the sky. We're going to have to get back on the ground, and we are not going to be able to continue to use fossil fuel in the way that we have. And so Deb is in Oregon, and I'm in Philadelphia, and we get to do this work together. And we have not even met personally. I hope we do sometime, Deb. That would be really fun. But one of us is going to have to get on an airplane. And it's probably not going to be me because I've been on enough airplanes in my life. I don't even drive my car anywhere. I walk or whatever, because I know that fossil fuels are the way of the past, and I'm not about the past. So digital immigrants and other immigrants, you're welcome at our little not fancy Nancy place. and you will get the training that you need, you will get the hand holding that you need, you will get the information that you need, the practice, the support, and a community to help you gain your own core competency in tech savvy stuff. And you'll also know that you have someone to come back to if you run into a problem. I've got a terrific team of people who do all kinds of things. Deb is just one person who is so helpful in terms of all the things that we're doing with our online project management. We do logos, we do website development, we do landing pages, we can help you put your project together, we can help you create your program package. All of those skills are right here in our little Volkswagen universe, and we hope that you'll explore what we're doing and become a member. Now, we have some offers to make here today, don't we, Deb?
We absolutely do. Some fabulous offers. So you're going to want to listen really, really closely and make sure that you catch everything that Anais is going to tell you about.
Okay, so I love it when the universe conspires to change my plan, which is what happened today, because the plan was that you had to be on the webinar to win the free program. Well, there is no webinar now. There's no webinar jam. There's this. So I'm going to regroup, and the universe is inviting me to be more generous for a longer period of time. So the free mind map, which is really a very, very simple diagram to help you think about your process steps when you're making your tech decisions and doing your strategic planning. Everybody who attended the webinar is going to get to download that for free. So if you registered for the webinar, great. We're going to send that download link to you. If you just come to our Facebook page at Tech Talk Cafe and say, hey, I would like to have the mind map, please. We're going to send you the link to go and download the mind map. Okay, so that's number one. The second thing is, because of what I've been through in the last few years, and because I know how hard it is in our competitive society to really consider what it is that someone, you may be empowered to empower someone in a way that you haven't even thought about. I have seen the power of giving away my tech training to people who wanted to use it, and the value I got in exchange, and I'm still getting in exchange from some of those people, has been greater than the cost of the program that I gave them. The relationships are becoming so valuable, and you can't really put a price tag on your good relationships. And so I have learned, and this is something that you will not see with other coaching programs. Deb, have you ever seen someone give away a whole program for free to anybody?
Not that I can think of.
Me neither.
Discounts, but not usually a free program.
All right, so you need to just know that that's where I'm coming from, because I'm a beekeeper, and boy, one thing you learn when you're keeping bees is you learn about the power of sharing and cooperation and generosity. There's nothing like working with bees to learn those powerful lessons. I've never experienced the real deep truth and integrity of that kind of power as I have learned it from being a beekeeper. So today we are going to give away our first core training program, and this is called 5 Tech Essentials, because you and I have to get on the same page with language, with conceptual understanding, and I think Deb appreciates that, we got to start where we are. You need the language. You need to understand the process concepts and how things are in relationship to each other. So the 5 Tech Essentials is a program that you could do in a week, and it's a self-paced learning program, but it will get you to the step where you'll begin to go, oh, that's what that does, and that's how that fits in with that. Oh, and this is why social media isn't important to me until way later. Social media is the icing on the cake. You gotta bake the cake first. So 5 tech essentials will be helping you to bake your tech cake so that you can ice it with social media later on. So I have picked a name of someone who I think will probably use the 5 tech essentials package. I certainly hope that that will be the case. And that's going to be, let me look here. Yep. That's going to be Sue Ann Willis. And Sue Ann is, she's not local to Philadelphia. I don't think she's in Oregon, Deb. I think she's on the East Coast. So I'm going to let Sue Ann know that she's been gifted with this. And the rest of you, go to the Facebook page, give us a like on our Tech Talk Cafe page, say hi, and ask for the download of the mind map, and you'll get it. Join us tomorrow. I have no idea whether Webinar Jam is going to work. I don't even know how to begin to fix the fact that we had no sound communication. I couldn't tell you. But we have Skype. So we're going to make adjustments. And the good news is that in a minute and a half, Deb and I are jumping into an instant teleseminar to repeat this information for people who are not comfortable with Google Hangouts or Skype. So we gotta go. But wow, Deb, here's to you.
Congratulations to you,
Yeah.
and to everybody else who has taken the time to jump on this webinar and to get your tech on to start conquering those fears.
Right. So this is going to be posted in YouTube. You will be able to watch it, and we're going to hang up now and jump over to Instant Teleseminar. Thank you. Bye-bye. Get your tech on. Be unstoppable. All right. Adios.
Bye.